Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Thanks for coming by the Bellisario Sonic YouTube channel. I'm coming to you from the heart of the Deep South on the outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama. I've got an extraordinary record review to do for you guys today, for you extraordinary listeners out there. As you guys know on this channel, I love to do reviews of working jazz artists and recent albums that are coming out. And this is a wonderful album I'm getting ready to play for you guys and talk about here. Before I get to that, I do want to point you guys over to the last interview or conversation that I had with Tony Higgins and Mike Peden of BBE, and they are the curators for the J-Jazz series over there at BBE Music. If you're interested in Japanese jazz, you're definitely going to want to go watch that conversation. Those guys were a pleasure to talk with, and they were a wealth of information on Japanese jazz. So if you want to learn more about that, at the end of this video, there'll be a box you can click on and go to that, or you can go to the playlist that I have for interviews, and you'll see it there. Today, however, we are going to listen to a spectacular album. Last year, you probably remember when I reviewed this April Records release, Andreas Toftemark Quartet, A New York Flight. If you missed that review, I would go back and check it out. This is a fantastic record. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys Roadmap, which is Andreas Toftemark's latest project with Benack III. And this is a wonderful, straight-ahead record. But there's some fantastic playing, fantastic compositions, original compositions here that were born out of a tour that these musicians were playing on, and they basically came up with these originals for this album. And so all the wonderful musicians on here contribute to this album, recorded at the Cave Studios in Denmark, February 25th and 26th of 2025. This is a brand new release. I believe it came out either at the very end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026 here. So brand new release. Of course, Andreas, a Danish jazz saxophone player and composer based in Copenhagen. Incredible player, incredible composer. He teams up with Benack III, wonderful trumpet player and singer. This is a wonderful record. I'm going to talk briefly about the players on here. So we go here. This is Andreas there on the saxophone, and incredible player. You've got an incredible pianist on here. Now, if you guys were watching the channel last year also, or maybe this might be already 2024 release, I think it was, is this album by Rasmus Sørensen, who is an incredible pianist. So I reviewed this album over a year ago, and this is called Balancing Act. I think this is a fantastic record. This guy is a great pianist, very young, reminds me a little bit of Bill Evans, very intense player, very musical. He is on here. So that is Rasmus there. You've got a bass player on here who I'm unfamiliar with, Kaisa Mäensivu. I'm probably mispronouncing her name, but that is her there. And she plays bass on here and holds down the rhythm with a drummer who is Joe Peri. And he's played with a lot of different people, I think most notably with Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga on that Love for Sale. He played on that. Very good drummer here. And of course, we've got Benack here, who is an incredible trumpet player. Wait till you hear this guy play. If you haven't heard him before, this is a real treat. I've heard him on a couple of different albums, but on this album, you really hear some smoke and trumpet. There's a tune called The Lemur on side B, track 2, that I'm going to play for you guys. This guy can play. So this, again, recorded in Denmark. This is more of a straight-ahead jazz album. This was recorded by Cave Gleeman, mixed by Heinrich Holst Hansen, and mastered by Heinrich Holst Hansen. So that is your lineup. So I can't wait to play this for you guys. I'm going to take you over to the turntable cam. There is the back of the record there. You can check out the tunes. I'm going to start off on side A. We're going to listen to a few tunes off of side A, and then we're going to roll into side B. If you like straight ahead jazz, I think you're really going to dig this album. There's a great vocal tune on here as well called Again that I really enjoyed. But the whole record is fantastic. I've been listening to this driving back and forth from work the past few days, and I've really been digging it. So let's go ahead and drop this on the Fluence RT85 with the Ortofon Blue going into my Vincent Faux 701, into my Denon amplifier, and then we are listening to them through the 4311B JBL speakers. This tune's called Roadmap. Again, here's some great playing by Benny on this. Fantastic player. All the tunes on this album are around 5 minutes long, so there's enough room for these guys to play. Really nice mix. Hear that tenor saxophone over on the right speaker. Really nice warm sound. This is a really nice sounding record. Again, I listened to this in my car. It sounded nice, but you really can't tell what a record sounds like until you bring it home, you know, put it on the turntable and listen to it through a nice system. You hear the piano across both speakers. That tenor was in the right, the trumpet favored the left. Nice warm sound for the piano. It sounds pretty good depth with this record. So a little closer look there at the tunes. Your personnel there again. Drums sound really nice to you. You can hear a really nice resonance off of them. Tonal balance is nice. It's a nice recording. Drums across both speakers. So far, quiet pressing. These April Records pressings, wherever they're pressing them at, seem to be doing a good job. These are usually nice pressings, fairly quiet pressings, so I don't think I've had to send any of these back. In fact, all the April Records purchases that I've made, and I've purchased quite a few. I've done quite a few reviews of them on this channel, and they've always been pretty good pressings, so no complaints there. That tune was called Roadmap. This next one's called Icebreaker. And does have your liner notes here on the back. It says this is a staple opener for the band's live sets. Again, you got the tenor over here on the right, Andreas. Nice. Yeah. Great player. So although you have the panning from left to right, you still hear the instruments bleed over to the other speaker, so definitely a modern type of mix. Again, Rasmus Sørensen on that piano. Does come with an insert with an advertisement for all of their different album releases. come with an anti-static sleeve as well, so. Nice, that one, Icebreaker. We're going to listen to this tune, the only vocal tune on here. Benny Benack III is singing on this. This is a really laid-back, cool tune called Again. Great voice. I really like this tune, and I'm glad that they put something a little bit different. This is kind of something different on the album compared to the rest of the tunes, but very cool.
Love is fickle. Love is cruel. To think love's ended, you're a fool. For it always lingers on until you fall again. When there's heartbreak all around, you try to get up off the ground. When there's no one to be found.
Nice. Benny Benack there singing, of course, also doing the trumpet playing on here, but really cool to hear some vocals by him on here.
Your world seems brighter. Your heart can sing once more. Could this time it
vocals straight in front of you, centered, both speakers.
Sing back to despair. Love is potent, good or bad. The ups and downs can drive you mad. Makes you wonder why you try until it lures you back in with its charms and it has.
What I'll probably do is play the entire first side. So I'll play New York Attitude, then I'll flip it over and we'll listen to at least 2 songs off the other side. So because I want to definitely play the Lenore, which is one of my favorite tunes on there. We'll listen to the Underground, and then we'll probably close out maybe on the 3rd track on side B. We'll close out on that. So this is co-written between Benny and Andreas. Andreas composed the music and Benny penned the lyrics. Nice. Love is potent, good or bad. The ups and downs can drive you mad. Makes you wonder why you try
it lures you back in with its charms, and it has you again and again and again. Until it lures you back in with its charms, and it has you again and again and again. Until it lures you back in with its charms.
Nice.
And has you again.
Very cool. Benny Benack III there doing the vocals. Fantastic. Next tune is called New York Attitude. And then we'll flip the record over. Again, I appreciate you guys hanging out, checking out a new album with some very musical guys here and gal. And again, I'm unfamiliar with Kaisa on the bass. But her and Joe Peri, definitely a really tight rhythm section here. Really nice warm bass tone. Yeah, really cool swinging record. Love that piano playing. Rasmus Sørensen there. drums sound awesome. Nice. So there you have the whole first side. So I'm going to flip it over, listen to at least 2 more tunes off of side B. And we'll close out on the third track. Fantastic straight ahead record. Great playing. A lot to listen to here. All right. We're on side B now. First track. Again, nice sounding piece of vinyl here. This one's called Underground, a bit more laid back, and then we'll get into the Lemur, which is one of probably my favorite tune on the record, but fantastic playing here by all these guys. So there's a lot to listen to here just between Andreas on that tenor and Benack the third on the trumpet. You've got a lot to listen to just between those two guys, and then of course Rasmus Sørensen on the piano. But let's talk a little bit about this rhythm section, which I've never heard either one of these players to my knowledge, and that is, I'm probably going to mispronounce, you know, on this channel I mispronounce everybody's name. Kaisa Mäensivu. I'm really enjoying her playing. On this type of a record, you're not going to hear a lot of adventurous, if you will, outside playing by the rhythm section. But you have to have a solid rhythm section that's very musical. And she is a very musical player. Peri on the drums. A very engaging drummer, but this rhythm section really holds everything together here nicely. And there are some solos by them as well on this record, although brief. There's Peri on the drums there. Very nice, warm sounding recording. It is consistent. The mix is consistent, so you always have the tenor over here to the right, the trumpet to the left, drums across both speakers, piano across both speakers. And I think the bass maybe favors a little to the left. Definitely hear it in both speakers. Yeah. So this tune, it says on the liner notes that it took place 2 days before the tour began. They started forming the tune. It says it was actually played in Underground Bunker, which is a rehearsal space in Copenhagen that Andreas has, and that's where they started writing this tune. So there were bunkers built in World War II that are now used for rehearsal rooms, and that's where this tune came together. Underground. Next tune is called The Mirror. This is a smoking tune. Wait till you hear Benack's trumpet playing on this. Incredible. Kind of a funky tune. This is Kaisa's tune. Very cool tune. Yeah. Yeah. You hear that character, that grit, that fantastic playing. Yeah, got Rasmus on the piano. this tune, written by Kaisa Mäensivu. Again, I'm probably mispronouncing her name. Apologize. Very cool, funky tune. All right, that's a smoking tune. I really dig that tune and love the playing on that. Everybody just swings, and the playing by Benny on that, incredible. We'll close out on this tune. And the name of this one is called Tilverels. Not sure how to pronounce that. That is the third tune on side B. We'll close out with this. And the title of the tune is translated as Existence or Way of Being. A little bit more of a laid back tune, but again, a really great listen all the way across this album. If you like straight ahead jazz, you're going to dig this. Very well recorded album. Consistent mix throughout the album, so you hear the instruments in the same location in the soundscape here. Nice depth, really nice pressing as well. So I'm really happy with this album, and again, I think for people who are just getting into jazz, this would be a good record to pick up. It's straight ahead, it's very accessible, but the playing on this is just very musical, engaging, and a really fun listen. So I highly recommend it. Toftemark, Benack the Third Quintet Roadmap on April Records. Go out and get it. Great record. We'll see you guys soon. Happy listening. More reviews coming your way, a lot more reviews. Just have to have time to do them.